Hello and welcome to Talk Soup, a weekly podcast from Selma City Schools where you will hear information regarding our schools, the district, and the community at large. And now, our host, Dr. Avis Williams.
Greetings, and welcome back to another episode of Talk Soup. I'm Dr. Avis Williams, the proud superintendent of Selma City Schools.
And I'm Courtney Washington, Community Engagement Specialist for Selma City Schools.
And today we are filming at the School of Discovery, which is a phenomenal sixth grade academy. And we have our wonderful new principal, Mrs. Yasandra Lett. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I am great. I'm so excited to be here at School of Discovery as a new principal.
Absolutely. So, one thing that we do each week on Talk Soup is talk about your why. Now, you are a native Selmian, a graduate of Selma High School. So this is home for you.
Yes.
And how exciting is that to be back home?
Oh, it's so exciting, Dr. Williams. Courtney. It is so exciting. It's almost surreal. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, am I here?
Yeah.
Really? But this school where I'm principal is the school that I went to as a junior high student. We weren't called a
Gotcha.
middle school, but I went to this school and Dr. Reese was my principal.
Gotcha.
And
Wow.
y'all, I can't wait. One day I gotta wait till all the teachers know me well
Yeah.
and the students know me well, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them, you guys have to walk expeditiously through the hallways, because that's what he always said
Yes.
to us as I was a student here in this building.
I
So
love
I'm
it.
really excited about being back home,
Yeah.
being able to bring back those experiences I've had, being away since 1993.
Yeah.
Spent most of my
Wow.
career in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, so I
Uh-huh.
want to bring those experiences back along with my few gifts and talents that I have and share them with my community
I
here in
love
Selma,
it.
Alabama. So my why, I am here, and y'all are gonna have a hard time getting rid of me. I'm here to stay, so I'm really excited about being here.
Well, we are excited to have you and definitely looking forward to all the great things that will be happening at School of Discovery this year. I've always, I can't have a favorite school because all of our schools are my favorite schools, but this one has a special place in my heart because it is such a unique structure to have just sixth grade.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you're looking at in terms of activities or upcoming events that are special for our sixth graders?
Sixth graders, yes. We're really excited about, the vision is for us to become the Academy of Interdisciplinary Studies. And I know that sounds good.
It sounds awesome.
And one of the things about that is I know that all of our elementary schools are different academies. We have the Social Justice Academy over at D. Clark Elementary, and I did
Yes.
also go to Clark Elementary School.
Okay.
And so we have that one. We have the Academy of Commerce and Entrepreneurship, and we have the STEM Academy somewhere, the Arts Academy. But what I want is for this school, when those students come in as sixth graders, for it to be kind of a culminating experience, not necessarily the end of things, but
Right.
how do they bring all of that together here at the School of Discovery?
So if I was a student at Edgewood, where we have the commerce and entrepreneurship, I could come here and continue some of that learning and those experiences?
Yes, continue. And not only just continue, I want them to be able to come here and share that with their other fellow sixth graders.
Gotcha.
Because they can't get it all, because if you didn't go to Edgewood, that
Right.
means you
You
wouldn't,
can't go back and
you wouldn't
pick
have
that
learned
up.
all of that.
Right.
But how do they share that? How do they create some project-based learning, some different things
Gotcha.
where they pull that skill set, that knowledge that they've learned at their elementary school, their academy, and bring it here and be able to just kind of pull it all together. So that's the
I
vision.
love it.
That's what
Yeah.
we're working on and working towards.
Right, and that's wonderful too, because we don't want there to be, stop and start and our scholars not having a continuum.
Right.
Because then moving forward, when they get to R.B. Hudson STEAM Academy, they should have opportunities to experience some of what they had here.
Right.
So I know we've had a team here that competed in robotics. Are we doing robotics and dance and that type of thing this year too?
Yes, we still have all of those different electives for our students.
Okay.
We are offering 2 periods of robotics.
Okay.
And our aim is, we're working on, just looking at our funding, but our aim is to be able to put even more electives in. But right now, we are offering the robotics for 2 periods during the day. We
Okay.
still have the African dance, we
Okay.
have choir, band, We're teaching some different courses with our CTE department,
Okay.
where they're learning how to code and that kind of thing.
Wonderful.
So we definitely want to expose our students to those different fields in science and technology and engineering. We want them to just kind of, be those problem solvers. We want to plant those seeds for success.
Right.
And we think we can do that by exposing them to those different art forms and the different disciplines.
And that's so important because, when they go out, whether they're competing in a robotics competition or, just going and on field trips and that type of thing, it's nice for them to have that background knowledge and that experience and exposure.
Loving it. And I'm liking how when we hear from each of our principals, especially about their academies and their programs moving forward, I like how we are intentional about preparing our scholars to be competitive on a global environment.
Yes.
So with that, I am over partnerships for the district, and welcome to Team Selma again.
Yes, thank you.
Tell our audience the needs in terms of community partnerships, or how we can set up certain partners with you with your programs.
Okay. Well, one of the partnerships that I've already been developing and working on is just with our AMSTI people that are over at Wallace Community College. So I've already been in touch with their director, Mr. Petway. And so that's one of my main partnerships, because I really want us to have a strong focus, not just on the arts and those things, but a strong focus on the academics. And I know that partnership with AMSTI will be huge. I know
And MSTI is Alabama Math, Science, and Technology Initiative, for those of you who don't know all of our acronyms.
That's right.
And MSTI has changed. It's a lot more hands-on, and it's evolved from the MSTI that I remember even just 3 or 4 years ago. So that's great.
It is, everybody talks about STEM. That's another one of our acronyms, science, technology, engineering, math, that kind of thing. But AMSI has it all. And one of the things that we're doing here at School of Discovery is we're creating a Fab Lab.
Okay.
So Courtney, as you're finding us partners and people that can help us with that, and I know a lot of people have probably heard of a makerspace.
Yes.
Okay, and so our Fab Lab is our makerspace.
Gotcha.
And I know we want to have AMSTI here that's really getting us those things and those ideas that we can make sure that it is a learning space for our students, where we're exposing them to those careers and that kind of thing.
Giving them space to create.
To create and collaborate and just use those 21st century those skills.
Yeah,
so that's one of the things that we're developing. We're developing some things. We have a lot of great things already in place, but those are a couple of things that we're trying to put in place with our interdisciplinary studies. We want to do true arts integration, and just working on that makerspace and making sure we have that going. So we want those partners that can come in and help us with that.
Well, I'll be working with you closely with that, and we can sit down and talk further. And our audience, as you're listening, if you have any questions about how to partner with School of Discovery and Principal Let, you can reach out to either one of us to do that. So
And I know you're trying to plan some big things for the spring, which might possibly include a major field trip, New York or DC or something of that nature. And so once you get all of that information clarified and get your parents informed and all of that, our audience can also help support that, because we would love to be able to send our scholars on a learning trip, where they get to, again, see and be exposed to something outside of their immediate community, because that's how they learn and grow.
That's right.
Love it.
Yes, and so, yes, Dr. Williams, that's another thing, just that educational tour that we want to do at the end of the year. And again, we're working on that, and we're gonna get it approved, but Courtney, again, if we can get sponsors and people that can help maybe sponsor some of our kids to kind of fill that gap, so that we can get our students the opportunity to do that trip.
Love it. Well, we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for sharing your why. And again, I love the fact that you wanted to come back home and that you are serving right here in your hometown. And I can only imagine, just the nostalgia of walking through the halls of where you first began your journey towards education. That's amazing.
And I'm just so excited about the opportunity. And I always tell people, they say, you're back home. And I'm like, yeah, my parents, though, they're
They just over the moon happy.
They are typical pink. They are typical pink. I have to remind them, like, they called me a couple of times on school days, y'all, like at 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm like, and I'm with my students,
Right.
So they think I'm back for them, only, but I'm back for them. But they are typical pink. They are really, really excited about being
You
back
can't
home.
beat that. You cannot beat that.
So yeah, it brings me joy.
Yes, awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we look forward to learning more about the interdisciplinary studies and how we can support School of Discovery.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, we will be right back with more Talk Soup.
Clear.
Welcome back to Talk Soup. And as always, we have our other segment that we do each week. The street committee said, what? Yeah. So I was at a meeting just this week, and someone asked me, why do you all not recruit at HBCUs and other local universities? I heard that you only recruit at Auburn and Alabama. Not street committee, really? This is not true. We have an HR department led by Ms. Stacy Williams, and she attends job fairs, career fairs all across the state of Alabama. Alabama State University is one of our primary targets, and partly because of the location and also because they produce really good educators. We also recruit at Troy, Auburn, and Montgomery, the University of West Alabama, University of South Alabama, Tuskegee, Stillman, Alabama A&M, go Bulldogs, but across the state. And what people really need to understand is that there's a national teacher shortage. And so like other districts within the state and nationwide, we have to up our efforts in terms of recruiting. And we would shoot ourselves in the foot if we limited ourselves to only a couple of universities. So it's absolutely not true that we only recruit in those areas and those two schools. We must expand and really span the entire state and beyond. And so even looking at out of state and making sure that we're doing the best we can to get high quality teachers and leaders for Team Selma. Yeah, so there you go, street committee. Now, let's talk a little bit about what else is going on. I know we've got athletic season starting up. Hoping to get Coach Gandy on as a guest probably next week. Because I want to hear more about what he's doing with our football team. We've got a scrimmage and
it's a jamboree next Friday against Dallas County at Block Park, and then following that is our rival with Southside also at Block Park. So we're looking forward to the season starting. We also have volleyball starting soon, and I will be able to push out that information. We did have athletic director Turner on a few weeks ago, and she was sharing some great information about athletics. One announcement I'd like to make in terms of athletics is that we're now selling season passes for adults, parents, and community members, as well as for students now. So you can get, for one price, season passes for all home games for both football and volleyball. The prices for adults is $65, and then the price, the student price is $65.
And that gets you in for the whole season.
Whole season.
I love it.
Home games, right. So you're not waiting in line anymore to get in, especially for that rival game, because if I can remember correctly, trying to get into a Selma High Southside game, be
very
basketball or
crowded.
football. So get your season passes. You can reach out to Athletic Director Coach Turner at Selma High by calling 334-874-1680, and her extension is 61. I have to make sure I get the right one. 6196.
Good.
Or you can just go directly to Selma High to inquire about those season passes. But get those passes. Support athletics. We are still in need of a few things, and so those proceeds will help to support the needs of athletics across the district.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, and then our social media sites will have all of this information as well. And speaking of social media, share all of our locations out there.
Lately, we are on Facebook, Selma City Schools. We are on Twitter, Selma Schools, as well as Instagram, Selma City Schools. We also have our YouTube page, which our Talk Soup is always featured on, which is also under Selma City Schools. So we have multiple platforms. We do check our messages. We do tweet and retweet and
Yes.
share.
And follow us
Yes,
on Twitter.
please.
Because I know at one time it seemed like we were getting new followers every day, and it's starting to slow down a little bit out there now. So we need to look on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, retweet, like
Right.
our information,
Right.
and share it with everybody else
Yes.
so people can see the great things that's happening with Team Selma.
And we have a lot of our teachers that are also using those platforms,
Yes.
but like us so that we can see what's happening, because I do know that a lot of our teachers and administrators are sharing some wonderful things, and we don't want to miss out on that. We do want to be able to show
Tag
them.
us
Yes,
when
please.
you're tweeting about something that's happening in the community, or just something that you want us to know more about.
Right.
Hashtag Team Selma, hashtag Committed to Excellence, hashtag Aim for Excellence.
Hashtag students first.
There you go. Yeah, and we would love to be able to connect with everyone
Yes.
out there on social media
Yes.
as well.
Also coming up, Dr. Williams, in September are our 2 budget hearings, September
Yes.
5th as well as September 10th, both at Selma High, starting at 4:30 on the 5th, and then at 5, September 10th.
Yes, and that's a great way to get involved. We have monthly board meetings, and oftentimes, our parents and community, they may read about what's happening in the newspaper and go to PTO meetings and that type of thing. But I encourage the community to come out and get really involved and attend
Right.
those board meetings. Typically, our board meetings, we have a work session on the first Thursday of the month, and then the following Tuesday is the board meeting. Now,
Right.
occasionally we have to change that, but we push that information out well in advance. So
Right.
come
Stay
out and
tuned.
stay tuned and come out and see what's happening. But definitely those budget hearings will be a great way for the community to have a
Right.
better understanding of the resources that we have and how we're using those tax
Exactly.
dollars that we definitely need within Selma City Schools. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's all that I have in terms of
That's
announcements.
all that I have as well.
We have to get more announcements, Dr. Williams.
But if any of our constituents out there, whether you're one of our partners or one of our
Yes.
schools, if you got something that you want us to push out through TalkSoup, we would most happily do that for you.
Right.
We'd be more than happy to do that for you. So just let us know. But otherwise, I think this is a wrap.
This is a wrap at the lovely School of Discovery.
Yes. Thank you again to Principal Lett for being our guest
She's
today.
awesome.
She is amazing, and we look forward to following the great things happening here and at all of our schools within Selma City Schools. So until next time, we will see you again on TalkSoup.
Bye.